ago, when eagles were born, the Godhead let us reign free. We were on the run and the continuum, making choices in a cosmic spree. To exalt the self or enrich the whole, a thought process that endures today. A conundrum under a naked sun of what to think or when to pray.
You may know us as the Watchers, and we're watching over you. You may find the game is ancient. You might think the game is new. We come from different realms, and we are not all the same. You may know us as the Watchers, but we have our own end game.
Some came with high vibrations to straighten out a mess. Some came for domination in a cosmic game of chess. The final chapter's being written and the dice are being tossed. The game will come unbidden when the game is won or lost.
You may know us as the Watchers, and we're watching over you. You may find the game is ancient. You might think the game is new. We come from different realms, and we are not all the same. You may know us as the Watchers, but we have our own.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
And we are back. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. And if you got a scary story, you can certainly give us a call at 1-253-203-6681. And I think we got a call right now. Hi, this is Gary at Night Dreams Talk Radio. Who do we have?
You have Rob Shelsky.
Well, hey, Rob, how's everything going, my friend?
A little spooky. How about you? We're having a major storm here, wind, chance of a tornado. Good Halloween night for us.
Well, I bet you didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters this year.
None. Absolutely none. It's a good thing because, you know, I gain a lot of weight when I eat them.
Oh, yeah, and I break a lot of teeth eating them, too. I can tell you that. It pulls the fillings right out.
Yeah, it's those stormtrooper costumes that are the worst to chew on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
no, I live out in the country. It's very seldom we actually get any trick-or-treaters here, but on a night like this, none. So the wind's blowing like crazy. We had a terrific rainstorm. We had thunder and lightning. It's not over yet, supposedly, so we'll see. How about you? How's life out west?
well, over here, I tell you, it's weird. The weather is just not like it has been the last couple of years. I normally don't even have to run the heat to like about the middle of October. I've been running heat since about the first week of September to keep the place warm. And I'll tell you how cold it is. Normally in my studio, because I got all these computers and I got all the servers and all this other stuff that feeds out to the radio stations, it normally is like 100 degrees in here once I close the door and I'm in here for about a half an hour. I have to run a heat.
In other words, you don't have to buy a sauna then, do you?
Well, I'll tell you how cold it is. I'm actually having to run a heater in here just to keep it up to 70
Where
degrees.
are you exactly?
Pardon me?
Where are you exactly? Where are you located?
We are in Gig Harbor, Washington, just right across the Narrows from Tacoma, Washington, and across not that far from Seattle.
Oh, okay, yeah. I spent a summer in Mount Vernon. As Mark Twain said, it was the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in Mount Vernon, Washington.
Probably. I tell you, Mount Vernon. What did you do there? I don't know. It was a farming community. There's not much to do.
No, but I had an RV, and I was parked in an RV park right next to some broccoli and cauliflower fields, so I was never short of vegetables. I was traveling full-time for 3 years. I just bought myself a 30-foot RV and a 1-ton pickup truck and just took to the road for 3 years.
How many
Mexico.
mailboxes did you hit when you first started driving the RV?
It was pretty horrible. It was a fifth wheel, so it wasn't too bad to back up compared to a standard trailer. But even so, it took some doing, let me tell you. I mean, combined with the truck, we're talking over 40 feet in length, and it was a job. But, after 3 years, you got to where you can handle it pretty well. You only hit the occasional child or old person,
I just, I went from the stage from a trailer, pulling behind my Avalanche I had at the time. And then I graduated to like a 24-foot trailer, which was really awesome. Then I got up to a 30-foot trailer, and then I got an old Winnebago. It was so bad, seriously, that the body was separating from the chassis. We went to the ocean, and we went up a hill, and that's when I decided to get rid of it. It actually was sliding off.
The body of the RV was sliding off the wheelbase?
It was, because it had a wood floor, and it was actually attached to the wood floor, but it was so rusted out that whatever was holding it onto the wood floor, above the chassis was like separating. And I mean, the vehicle was actually, if I would have went up a big hill, I got a funny feeling I would have been sitting on the road while the chassis drove off.
Yeah, they don't do real well when they go up big hills, but what are you going to do, right? I mean, RVs are RVs. And, of course, I had people from Europe say, well, these things are dinosaurs. They're far too big for the roads. And I said, well, maybe in Germany they are because you have little tiny roads in a smaller country, but here we have 3,000 miles of a continent wide. I said, so it's not a problem for us here, I think they were just jealous because we had big RVs and they had these little tiny Volkswagen buses.
Oh, yeah. The last RV we had, a couple of my adult children moved back home. I had slide outs on it. And I told them, I said, whatever you do in the winter, because we have all cedar trees around here, I said, don't put out the slide out at all because needles are going to fall on it and whatever. And then if you close it, it's not going to seal. Well, evidently they didn't listen to me, and one day they weren't around, and for a couple days I went in there just to check it out, and it was all flooded with water. This RV had 3 slide outs. It was a diesel, where the diesel sat underneath the king bed or in the back bedroom, in the very back.
Oh, yeah, my truck was diesel, yeah. They're a mixed bag of goodies, diesels. They have to be plugged in cold climates to keep the block heated, apparently. And when you get to a high altitude, like when I'm hauling a 30-foot fifth wheel up the Grand Teton Pass, the thing was going 15 miles an hour and belching black smoke like there was no tomorrow. And I had a string of cars behind me a mile long. And how you're supposed to turn out every so often to let the cars go by? It was a switchback mountain road. There was like one narrow lane in each direction. There was no place to turn out other than going over a cliff, which I didn't really want to do. But, yeah, there are drawbacks to traveling with RVs.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's not tied to the base of the vehicle.
Oh, no,
so how's your Halloween going?
I just want to say, this one was not the Winnebago. This one was one, it cost like several $100,000. I found I had it for like about 3 years, and one day after I got tired of the neighbors coming in and say, okay, well, you owe us for a new mailbox. What can I say? It was really hard to judge sometimes, and I would have a tendency of hitting the mailbox. And what you were saying about trick-or-treating this year, or what did you say?
Yeah, how's your Halloween going there? I mean, are you getting any people at all, or?
None. See, we live out in a mini farm in Gig Harbor, so, I'm the only person left in this whole area that didn't, get rid of all their timber. So I have like 2 acres of cedar trees.
So you have wood on your land? Is that what it is? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, two acres of cedar trees, a couple horses, and a goat.
Oh. Well, I have an acre of trees, an acre that's not trees, and I have a bunch of outdoor cats and a raccoon, a red fox, and a possum. And I think there might even be a Sasquatch out there. I'm not sure. I could have sworn I saw one the other day.
It's possible.
No, really, I saw one the other day.
When I moved...
on the back...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh,
I'm going to be polite here.
Oh, all right. right. I just know I was out there with a friend and we were talking, and I happened to look past him towards the woods behind my house, and there was this hunched-over creature walking by, and it looked right at me for a moment. It got caught in the porch light that was shining in that direction, and then it just disappeared. And, of course, my friend thinks I was nuts. Granted, I had a drink, but it was hardly like I was drunk or anything. I'm pretty sure what I saw is what I saw. Now, what was it? I don't know. It was just a flash. I just saw it really quickly. And then he got all worried about it, so I lied and said I didn't really see anything. But I actually did. I actually saw something shifting position, and it looked like it was golden-haired and shaggy.
Wow. Now, do you have any bears in your area at all?
They're starting to come back to this area. They're not here yet, but they're in the hill country just to the west of us, and they're slowly beginning to make inroads back in this direction. We do have coyotes, we do have foxes, and of course we have the occasional Temblor rattler, cottonmouth, and water moccasin.
Ooh. Yeah, when I was a kid, I almost got bit by a water moccasin. I tell you, you don't want to get bit by either one of those, cottonmouth or either one. Cottonmouth, a moth.
Oh, what did you do? What did you do when you got bit?
Well, I almost got bit. My dad we were at a river up in, I think, Idaho, Mackenzie River. Maybe it was, Idaho. And I was playing in the river, and I guess what my dad was telling me at the time, that the snake was going to bite me, and he saw it and threw a rock and killed it. Thank God.
Oh, well, I almost got eaten by an alligator, sort of.
See, James?
I had a house in Florida on a canal, Deepwater Canal, and it was on the ocean. It was on the Intercoastal Waterway, and I just had the house built, and it was 50 feet across the canal from side to side, dock to dock. So I thought, this would be a great place to exercise and swim in the morning. So I'd go in there, and I'd swim back and forth, did this for about a week. And then one day I was sitting on the dock, and this 11-foot alligator swam down the canal. Who knew they would swim in salt water?
And none of your neighbors?
Say I never, ever went back in the canal again. I wouldn't even dabble my feet in the water because I was sitting on the edge of the dock with my feet in the water, hot day. And after that, it's like, never again. So apparently they only do that in brackish water, and they only do it when it's mating season, a season when they're the most aggressive, is what I was told. So apparently I was swimming at the perfectly wrong time to have been swimming in the canal. But that's Florida.
Oh, that's just it. I have a couple of friends that live in Florida, and they said they're kids that go out and play in the backyard, and here's, these gators in their backyard, and they just kind of like play around them. And I would think these things would be aggressive, because occasionally they do eat people.
Oh, yeah, they eat little old ladies. They love to go around to senior citizen homes. In Florida, whenever you build a development, you always have to dig out some land to put the buildings on, fill. And that always leaves a lake. So almost every development in Florida has lakes, including Disney World, lots of them, for the same reason. But the problem is then alligators find them and decide to take up residence, and some of them get quite large, and some little lady will walk by the edge of the pond or some child, and that's the last you see of them. In fact, there was a child that was snatched at Disney World a few years back, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember a guy here just recently. They said he was gone like in one bite. That's how big the gator was. And they said it was like 19 feet long.
Even bigger. There's cases now where they've cut open a python that they found in the Everglades, and there's an alligator inside of it.
How could they? Well, I guess they could. I mean, if the gator was like sleeping or halfway asleep, I guess the python.
No, they even showed there was even a video on TV one time where they were fighting, and the python just crushed the gator and then slowly opened its jaws. They can unhinge those jaws and just slowly swallowed it. One reptile swallowing another, apparently. Although I would guess that an alligator is actually an amphibian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one place I would not move in Florida. Hey, James, you're out there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm in North Carolina. I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
Except occasional water moccasin. Every time I clean out my pond, I'm always worried about one biting me. Never happened so far. I just hope it doesn't. So, now you're talking about scary stories for Halloween.
Yes.
Do you want to hear one?
Yes, I would.
Okay. When I was just to become, I think I was about 12, maybe 11 at the time, and I lived in Chula Vista, California, 9 miles south of San Diego. And I had just joined the Boy Scouts like a couple months before, and I had finally managed to get all